Into this year, like goals and objectives.
Yeah, that'd be good. Speaking goals, objectives, you want to kick that one off?
Sure. Yeah. Um, Goals and objectives specifically for deer hunting. Man, I'd like to kill one of these 5-year-old bucks up here. There's a couple.
Okay.
There's a couple of them around, and maybe they're older than that. I don't know, but they're deer that now I've had on for a couple of years, and they're mature deer. I'd like to kill one of them. I've spent a lot of time this fall working on my system and trying to figure it out. And I had, some good encounters. I had we earlier talking about I had a lot of encounters this year. Like I feel like I had buck encounters almost every time I hunted. I didn't strike out too much this year. I mean, during my rifle trip, which I traveled for, it's exactly what Joe talks about on Road to the Rut. Like I traveled to go to a place that I'm familiar with, but I hadn't been there actively and hunting it, And it's like you get there and it takes 2-3 days to really start getting a hot hand. Not always, but it can. And it just proves to happen again and again. It takes 2-3 days. You kind of get some shit figured out. You get the hot hand. And then on the last day, you seem to be running and you're like, oh, give me 1 or 2 more days, So I had some lower percentage sits when I went and did my rifle hunt, but all my other hunts, I hardly went out and didn't see a buck or some deer or pick up on something that led me to the next piece. So I was like in active pursuit from my first hunt. Because my first hunt, I saw 3 bucks. I went in on a spot a hill country spot, and these bucks were bedded up high. They were bedded right where I thought they would be based on my scouting. And I went to the bottom of that where it dropped out into a field and had oaks and acorns. And right in the evening, I hear footsteps. Like you could hear them coming for forever. And I'm like, oh my God, they're up there. 1 buck, 2 buck, and 3 buck. So I was just right in the chips to kind of get started, and then had other cameras in other places showing reason to be in other locations and taking note of that stuff as well. So I didn't have time to get to hunt 1/10 of the things that I scouted in the spring and that I wanted to, but part of that was just like getting on a spot and starting to get hot and working it and massaging it. I feel like having 3 of those, if you get into like 3 of those, if you boil all your spots down to like 3, I love 3 because it's like the triangle. 2, I don't know, it always seems to show its face. But if you have 3 boiled down like 3 hot spots and you're hunting them for bucks during the rut, that's usually a pretty good, pretty good percentage of chance that you're going to connect out of one of them. So going and pulling away from that, going completely rogue, going for a 1-week hunt in the middle of that, throw you through, a little bit of a loop, which it did. But yeah, anyway, Byron, I don't even know where I was going.
Goals, you said you'd like to kill one of the bigger ones.
Yeah. Thanks for keeping me on track, Byron. I can always count on you. That's exactly right, dude. With all those encounters and seeing all those deer, I still didn't get a big deer killed. Couple nice ones, got it on camera. Kind of took the cards I was dealt. Don't want to be stingy. Deer meat's awesome, so no loss there whatsoever. But yeah, going into this year, it would be nice to kill one of those big ones, So,
do you drink beers in a garage? That's exactly why the garage bar was invented. Unfolds in seconds, ready to go. Pull your wood out and enjoy a cold one.
lot of reason to be excited about this coming deer season, and my system, dialing my system a little bit more with these cameras and these scrapes, and using the synthetic lures different times of the year, different situations and scenarios. Now that I see the deer up here have multiple terrains and landscapes they can use during all and any part of the season, and they do for various reasons. So knowing when to be where and boiling it down this year a little bit more, and hopefully connect on one of those big ones. So
All right. So I don't know if I'm gonna go full stick bow next year or what. It may be depending on the day. If I think I'm going to a spot where I can kill one with it, or maybe I'm feeling froggy, or I don't know. I thought about taking the compound, doing a little like ground hunting. I had a lot of encounters this year that I felt like with a compound on the ground, so I could shoot 30 yards. I probably could have put the Mohican sneak on a few of these guys. So goals, I do need a real hard goal of mine is some out of state scouting. I've got to get some intel as far as some information where I can hunt out of state at a better rate, because I'll probably do that a touch in the future years. Just looking for some different experiences, and going those kind of places can do that. So I will probably take off work a few days here in February and March, and literally burn 3 or 4 hours in the truck, scout for a solid day, and then come home just to get some information. Maybe deploy some cameras. That's the other thing too. I can my year of total woodsmanship is over, so I'll be running some SD cams for sure this year, and that'll help my learning curve too. But yeah, so I am gonna put in a water hole at the property, and I got some invasive work to do out there on the habitat side of things, which that'll make me hopefully improve that place, and maybe by the time my son's hunting, we've got a nice little spot. I go for enough hard hunts. Sometimes I think I might be ready for an easy one.
yeah, 100%, man.
So off-season scouting is a big goal of mine, and then I definitely will shoot another doe with that stick bow in maybe October or whatever. Just I got to kill some more deer with that thing. It was too much fun not to, and I want that like almost like just 7-yard encounter, 10-yard encounter with that thing. The buck I shot this year, don't get me wrong, I was like 6 foot up a tree, but he was like 15 yards. And so I really want that close moment.
Were you in a saddle or a stand when you killed the deer with your bow? Do you prefer one or the other with that now?
I definitely like the stand just for the platform room with those big limbs. But like I was on the backside of the tree, so I don't even think I was clipped. Yeah, I was clipped in. So yeah, I had the saddle. I was leaning, back away from the tree, and 6 foot high, and I kind of saw him on the same level as me. And I was like, he's coming. This is where I've seen all the does all morning. Like, I made my move. I know he's coming. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so I was saddle hunting on the backside of a tree with a tree stand.
Okay.
We have become conscious that we will never decrease efforts towards attempting to be better. We understand that if we aren't growing, we are dying. We simply refuse to accept status quo. We will continue to gain education through experience, and when we kill that buck of a lifetime, there will have been nothing accidental about it. Be surgical.
So, but yeah, that's
what you're talking about when you say the hybrid.
Yeah. So I carry a tree stand, so I've got a big platform. And I also like having the seat there because you can put your bag on it and get organized for your hunt. And then if the situation calls for it, you're going to shoot past the tree, I'll call it, at like your, what would that be? Your 1 o'clock, your 11 o'clock and greater angles. Yeah. Okay, well, I might as well lean back and take some weight off my feet and hang out for a bit and hide behind the tree for a little bit of cover. And yeah, I hybrid hunted. I've always hybrid hunted filming hunts and done it a handful of times over the years. But this year I took that saddle every hunt, and it was awesome.
Interesting. Have you done a video on that? I'd kind of like to see that done.
It is maybe. The other thing, like, yeah, I might have done that a little bit. I'd have to go back and look at YouTube and maybe my I don't know, vertical reels where I talked about it a little bit. But I did, and I only was taking 2 sticks with double 8ers with the stick bow just because I didn't want to get up real high.